Ahoy mateys, this is BrickBeard here with another review, this time of a brand new set that was only released yesterday. I pushed as hard as I could to get this out as quickly as possible to you. I'm talking about the new Ideas Home Alone set. I've been looking forward so much to this one, so let's get our hands on it immediately. Here we have it, the build is already done. It took me about 7 to 8 hours, so make sure that if you sit down to build this set, you take your time. This is gonna take a while. If you want to see how the building went for me, you can click here as always to see the speed build video. It's a very interesting speed build. There is so much going on in this set because there's much more than meets the eye on the outside of this set alone. The complete building is interiorized, there's a lot of details in there, play features, references to the movie, and I will try to get as many of them here in the review. But before we do that, let's get some of the background information out there. This is set 21330, Home Alone, the 38 Ideas set, and it comes with 3,955 pieces, almost 4,000 pieces. Well, if you count all the spare parts, because there was an incredible amount of spare parts in this set, you will be well over 4,000. It retails for $250, 250 euros, which comes down to 6 cents per piece, which is very cheap. Well, of course, the bigger sets, because there's a lot of the same bricks, usually have a better price to piece ratio. But 6 cents per piece for a set like this that is based on a movie, it's a really good price. As with all Ideas set, this set was originally designed by a fan designer that submitted it to the Ideas webpage, and after that a group of Lego designers helped them finalize the model like we see it right here. The name of the fan designer is Alex Storozuk, I hope I pronounced that correctly, and he was helped by 3 people of the Lego design team, and the main one is Antika Brakanov. And she mainly worked on Lego Friends and now on some Ideas set, but I think she had a 5-year career of only working on Friends, and this is the first Ideas set that is released under her name in that sense. And for a first attempt, a first effort in that sense, in a different line, this is an amazing job. Next to her we have some graphic designers that worked on the set. Enrique Belmonte Bijkser and Kirsten B. Nielsen. So there's a big team that worked on this set. There is more information about them in the instruction manual that we see on the side here. You can see that there's some information on the set itself, some little references to the movie, some scenes that we recreated, something about the fan designer himself, and of course something about the Lego designers, all 3 of them. And then the build, and it's a huge instruction manual. It counts in at almost 500 pages of building. It's a lot to get through. But again, before we really go into the details of this set, let's take a look at the minifigures. We get 5 minifigures in total in this set. That might not seem like a lot for a set of this size, but let's see how the quality of the minifigures is. The first minifigure we get in the set is Marv, the first of the 2 wet bandits. And the resemblance of him with the character in the movie is huge. Most of his body and legs are in the dark orange color, the same color as the house actually. And there's a printed vest and blouse on the torso with a lot of details and buttons on it, and it continues in the back with some smaller prints on there. But the coolest thing about this minifigure is definitely the face print. On the front he has his recognizable face with one of his eyebrows lifted and a smile on his face with the facial hair that we saw in the movie as well. And then on the other side of the face print we see him very angry with the imprinting of a hot iron on his face, and that's such a cool little clever detail to the movie, and you can even recreate that in the set itself. And it's topped off by a brown hairpiece that also fits the character very well. The second minifigure is Harry, another wet bandit, and he comes with a smaller leg piece but still movable, and most of his pieces are in the dark grey. His torso is printed with, again, a jacket and a blouse under it with some patterns on it and some buttons, and just a very small print on the back of the torso. His face is only printed on one side, but again he's very recognizable, mainly due to the gold tooth that you can see in his mouth. Some crow's feet next to his eyes and a bit of a sinister look, and topped off by this black hood. But there's also a second hat for this minifigure, which is a police hat. Because in the movie he pretended to be a policeman to get into the house the first time, and it's really cool that he threw that in there as well. The third minifigure is Kevin McAllister himself, the lead character from the movie, and he also comes with a set of changeable elements. He has the medium long legs, movable in a tan color, with a sweater printed on the torso in dark red. And he's wearing a scarf around his neck. And he has on his face print a pretty basic print on the front with a small smile. And on the back, the very recognizable screaming face that you see in all the promotional pictures and movies of the movie Home Alone, which is very nice that we get that face print in here as well. And he is wearing a dark grey hoodie on his head. But like I said, there's also a second pair of elements for this character. If you take his scarf off and his hat off, you can put his normal hairpiece on there, which is absolutely more fitting for when he is inside. This minifigure seems a bit basic, but he's absolutely recognizable from the movie. The next minifigure is Old Man Marley. He is the neighbor of the McAllisters, and he plays a pretty important role in the movie, although maybe not as big as some other characters, so it is a bit of a surprise to see him in here. He is recognizable from the movie in his all black outfit with a normal black leg piece and a simple printed black jacket on his torso, mainly with grey patterns on there, which also goes into the back with a very simple print. He has a big grey scruffy beard and a grey hairpiece with medium long hair. If you take that off, you get to his face print, which is only printed on one side with a bit of a mean look and some wrinkles on his face. This minifigure looks a bit basic, but it works for what he needs to represent. The last minifigure is Kevin's mom, Kate McAllister, and she's wearing this completely nougat colored outfit, which she was also wearing in the movie, with a leg piece without any printing on it, just like all the other characters in this set, but another jacket and blouse on the torso print with some small lines on the back. The orange hairpiece looks exactly like the hairstyle the mom was wearing in the movie. And she has a double printed face. On one side she has a bit of a smile on her face with some makeup on her lips and around her eyes. And on the back side she looks like she's panicking with a big scream on her mouth with still the same makeup, but just panicking, probably realizing that she left Kevin home alone. Those were all the minifigures, so 5 of them, which is really not that much, but I get why they made the decision. The problem being is that if you have ever watched the movie, if you would have included more of the family, I think there's a family of 14 people or something in the movie. It's a lot. There's no way they would have released a set like this with that many minifigures. So I guess they had to make a decision. Are we going to include just a couple of people from the family, nobody from the family, or everybody? And the everybody was really not an option. So they boiled it down to only including Kevin, the main character, and his mom from the family. Then we get the 2 minifigures as the Wet Bandits, as they are called, and Old Man Murphy, the neighbor, that also plays a pretty important role in the movie. So with only 5 minifigures, that might seem like not that much, and I would absolutely agree with that, but I do get why they made that decision. The minifigures that we get are really good looking. They look amazing, resemble the characters from the movies a lot, and I especially love the face print of Marv with the ironing print on his face. That's a really nice little detail and reference to the movie. But overall, the minifigure selection, it lacks a bit. I would have expected at least a couple of minifigures more for this price. Again, I get why they made the decision, but still, I think this is a bit underwhelming for a set of this size. But still, good minifigures, the ones that we get, are really decent, really nice looking, so I'm gonna rate that a 7 out of 10. Then on to the building experience, and you might think that this set is very repetitive in its building because it has a lot of the same walls and windows and roof tiles going on, but that is absolutely not the case, at least in my experience. There is so much stuff going on in this build that you wouldn't guess from just looking at it. There's a lot of playability going on, which I will touch in a bit, of course. But of course we get the main house, we get the van, the tree house on the side here with a little cable for Kevin to escape to. And on the back of the building, I didn't show you this yet, we also get a small annex with a basement and a kitchen. And there's so much more going on than meets the eye in the first place. So the building experience is really, really, really nice and better than I expected when I looked at it. I was afraid there was a much more repetition going on there, but that's absolutely not the case. And you will get what I mean by that when we go into display value and playability a bit more. But building experience, I'm going to rate that a 9 out of 10. Now for one of the main attractions to this set, the playability. And I haven't shown you this yet, but the entire house can be easily flipped open like we see here for easy access to the house and the complete interior of it. And as you can see, the way that it folds open gives you so much playability on the inside of the building. And even the roof can be flipped up like this for easy access to the attic where we have another room hidden. As you can see, this really transforms the set completely. You get to see the entire interior, all the rooms that are there. We have a huge living room with a lot of references to the movie, with a small hallway and some stairs up. We have the entrance hall here. Then on the first floor we have a bedroom, a big hallway, a bathroom and another bedroom that you can't see like this. That's the only room that is fully hidden from the main house. But luckily all the floors can be easily taken off, so you also get to see the inside of the house completely. And that is just, the playability in that sense is amazing. So of course even this floor can be lifted off easily for the best reach into the house itself. And that's the main feature on the front of the house, but we're not done yet because we have a lot more to this set. Of course, don't forget about the van that we get from the Wet Bandits. Also, the roof here can be lifted off, and we get some elements, some crowbars, and some plumbing equipment in the back of the van. And then to the other side of the house, let's turn this huge thing again. So we get the tree house here with a wire and a zip line for Kevin to escape from the attic into the tree house, just like we saw in the movie. And then we have the annex here. This can be easily taken off. And just like the main house, both of these floors can be taken off. Also the little roof can be taken off. And you get 2 more little rooms with this set. The upper one is the kitchen, also one where you can see a lot of references from the movie too. There's pizza boxes and a TV there and a laundry chute and even a new door element with a cat or dog flap in it. A refrigerator. There's a lot going on in this room. And then lastly we have the basement here. And in the basement we get some laundry machines and a dryer. On the outside of this basement there is some ice tiles, which is also a reference to the movie. But one of the coolest things is actually this heating machine that we get down here. And if you press it, you can see that the light brick is hidden inside here. Which again is another super cool reference to the movie. As you can see, there is so much going on here in playability, and I didn't even talk about all the booby traps that are in the house, because for the people that saw the movie, there is of course the main idea of the movie is that there's burglars, and the kid Kevin is coming up with a way to keep the burglars out of his house, and he sets the entire house full of booby traps, and we get those in the set as well. On this side we have a little lever. If you turn it, ironing piece will fall down into the basement again, just like in the movie. And you can even see the face print of that on one of the minifigures, which is a super cool little detail. Then let's turn it around again and show you some of the other booby traps that are in the house. One of the coolest, I think, is actually, let me open it up again. On the side here there's another little lever, and if you turn it, you can see the fake party that Kevin is throwing. So there's a little cutout of a billboard, and on the other side a mannequin that is dancing, and that's just a super nice little reference to the movie. Let's open the up side again as well. There's some push buttons on the back of the house where you can make his sled go down the stairs. There is a button here that makes some planks fall down, just like in the movie. There are cans all around. There is some wheels all over the floor for the burglars to fall over. And in the attic we can even see a battle plan written out on how to keep the burglars out. I'm sure there is more to it. I'm not even talking about all the references to the movie and the printed tiles and the stickered elements. But for playability, yes, there's a lot to talk about here. There is so much going on. The only minor thing that I would have as a criticism of this set is that there's only two, maybe three features that really involve some real movement to it. And I would have liked to see that would have been expanded a bit, but that is really nitpicking on my part. But yes, there are a lot of the booby traps that we see in the movie, but that could have been a bit more with some movement that you can, like this turn from the outside. I'm missing that a tiny bit, just for that little bit of extra involvement in the set. But that being said, this is an amazing set for the playability, and I'm gonna rate it a 9 out of 10. Then on to the display value, and for me that was the most important reason why I got this set. The playability was really a surprise in that sense for me, how much effort they put into playability and all the references to the movie. Really great job on that part. But for me this is mostly going to be a display piece. I'm intending to place this with the Christmas village, the winter village, just because it fits the style so well with all the snow and the Christmas ornaments and the lights going on. This will really fit the winter village, I think. And the thing with that is that it might seem a bit out of place because this is really huge. I think the biggest set that we saw in the winter village is actually just 2 stories high. And this even has the 3rd floor on it. But I think as a bit of a centerpiece, like a municipality house or something like that, or it will really fit in there. And I think they did an amazing job on the display of this set. All the details, especially if you also look at the inside of the set, it's just amazing. There's so much going on. And if you're looking at this for just the display purposes, it's an amazing piece. I really love the color that they chose. The only little thing that I would mention is actually that it's a bit of a shame that the tree house is exactly the same color as the house itself. It would have been nice if the tree was in a bit of a darker color, so it stands out a bit more from the house. But all in all, that is not really that big of a deal. It's just a really small element, and the rest of the build here I really enjoy. But that is the only real thing that I can think about. And for me, this as a display piece, it gets a 10 out of 10. It's an amazing piece. Alright, then to the part selection, and this is where the set doesn't score the highest, just because of 2 main reasons. One, there's a lot of the dark orange / brown bricks that we use for the walls, a lot of windows, a lot of roof tiles, just a lot of repetition in that sense. You being able to build something else than a big house out of it, if you just use your own imagination and not the instruction manual, it's gonna be really hard. I don't think there's a lot you can do with this. All the elements are made specifically for this set, even with the 4,000 of them that are in here. yeah, just hard to imagine something else, and there's not a huge amount of variety. Of course, with the inside taken into account, there's of course a lot of pieces, but compared to the 4,000 pieces we get, most of the pieces go to the main construction of the building, which looks great, but is not that great for the part selection. And then the second biggest problem with the set is the amount of stickers. I didn't count them, but I think it's well over, I think it's now, well, maybe around 50 stickers or something. There's so many stickers in this set. A few printed elements, but really not a lot. And I think that is a shame. It's gonna wear out, the quality, it doesn't look that good. I get why they do it, of course, but yeah, it's such a shame that this is all stickered, and that for me, for the part selection, is really not good for a high grade. So all in all, the part selection, I'm just gonna give that a 7 out of 10. It's a very good amount of pieces that we get here. The pieces that we get are nice, and but just not really that useful to build something else out of it. And then for the last bit, and that is the value for money. And as I said in the beginning, with 6 cents per piece, maybe $250 euros sounds like a lot of money, and it is. But for a set of this size, 6 cents per piece, it's an amazing deal. And I would not even hesitate getting it if you could, especially if you like the movies, because the value for money is just great. The only reason I'm not giving it a perfect score is because I would have liked to see a couple more minifigures in here. Maybe some of the family members still that play a bigger role, like why is his mom in here but not his dad? Maybe his big brother that plays a bigger role in the movie, and one of his younger brothers, for instance. I think they could have expanded the family a bit more, just to get some more minifigures to play around with. But that is my real only complaint. So the value for money is still gonna get a 9 out of 10. And that comes down to an overall rating of just a 9 out of 10. It was 8.67 or something like that, so I have to bump that up to 9. It's not a very convincing 9 in that sense, but it's still a 9 out of 10. Incredible build, incredible build. If you are a fan of the movie, if you are a fan of the Creator Expert series, for instance, this is absolutely a set to get. It's just such a great experience. It will take you a long time to build it, but it's worth every minute of it. I cannot recommend this set more than I'm doing right now. And of course, it just became available at LEGO. It's at the moment, I don't think, available anywhere else. And I have this suspicion that this set might go on back order pretty soon. With the Christmas season coming up, the amount of people that love Home Alone, especially from my generation, it's huge. I think if you want to get this set before Christmas, better do it sooner rather than later, because this might be one of those sets that will be hard to get by the time Christmas is upon us. And if I were you and you have the money and you like the set, you're on the verge, just get it. It's amazing. It's really amazing. Like I said, a 9 out of 10, really, really, really worth your time and money. And that's it again for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of this house and what you think of the movie. Is it something that you ever heard of, or are you not that familiar with it, but are you curious now that you saw the set here? Let me know all of that in the comments below. Please, if you want to do me a favor, like this video and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you stay updated on everything that happens on my channel. And I want to thank you so much again for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.